Hey everyone, so today we're going to be learning how to do an identity mind map. So to start off, what is a mind map? Well, a mind map, they come in a lot of different forms, but it's a visual way to break down different components of a topic or subject by putting them into subtopics and even smaller subtopics. That way, it's a great way to look more in depth into one larger topic. So these are a couple examples of some different mind maps, and these are really great ones for the activity that we're going to be doing. So there's one where the central subject is in the middle and they branch out. And then there's an actual tree representation to where the subject would be in the middle and there's different branches that can come out and other sub-branches that can come off of it as well. Or it can be more like this example down here where it's a central idea and then it just goes towards one direction. So how does this relate to identity? Well, first we have to start off by saying, what is identity? So identity is defined as one's personal characteristics or the sense of who one is as perceived by the person or by others. So with this, there's a lot of different aspects of identity. So it's not just about your background, such as race, ethnicity, gender, or culture, but this can also include hobbies and interests. And many times this is also left out of identity, but it is a crucial factor to what makes up a person. So such activities or hobbies could be such as art, sports. There's a lot of different things that you can think of. So when we look at this, how will this be used in this project? Well, this project is really about your identity and exploring that through this different process. So the way you're going to do this is by making a mind map. Looking at the different components that make up your identity, you're going to collage or paint symbols or different interpretations that you find to make a collage and paint to put on your woodblock. So this is just a simple identity template. So here's the central identity, and here are some possible things that you could start to go off of. So such things could be as interest, objects, possessions, creating, choices, family, appearance. There's a lot of different ones that you can work with. Now with this, it doesn't mean you have to work with all of these different ones, but these are some that you can choose from to help you jump off and give you a good starting point. For this specific project, it's good to start off with at least 3 to get yourself going, just so you can get in the right track. So this is going to be my example of a mind map. You can either do it digitally or write it down. You could even draw it out and just make the symbols right away, create a picture. This is just something that gets the creative juices flowing to allow you to really think more about your identity and yourself and how you want to represent that through this project. And keep in mind with this project, even though you are doing this identity map, doesn't mean that you have to include everything you put on your map into your final project. This is just to get you thinking about different things you might want to put onto your block. So to start off, I just put a little cloud that's something cute, and then my name in the middle. So I'm doing 5 subtopics to start off with. The first one being dreams. This could also be like jobs as well. So the next one is interests. This can also be pretty broad too. This can also include hobbies. It can even go into dreams as well. So a lot of times too, these different subtopics can overlap with each other, and we'll see that more throughout this example. The next one is appearance. Next one, family, and lastly, culture. So like how I said, you can kind of pick and choose which ones that you want to work with. Again, choose at least 3 to start off with, but I'm doing 5. These are the ones that I felt that I could really flesh out a little bit more. But with this, you don't have to really flesh out as much, but it's always good to really think about it to dive deeper into it. So to start off, I'm going to start with interest. So the first one I have is art. Second one, baking. Third one, dance. So see how just one central one can break off into 3 different topics? With that, that means you can also go off further into these subtopics, as you'll see later on as well. Next one, appearance. So I just put brown hair, brown eyes, and a tattoo. So just simple stuff if you want to include that. Again, this is just a good way to think about how identity can also be physical, it could also be metaphysical, or it could also be internal. So for family, I realized this can also really counter with culture as well. So I figured I would put a line to connect the two to show that. Also, I put memories for family. Going into culture, I put food, tradition, and activism. Moving on to dreams, I put teach, help, and grow. So going into this, we have a good amount of subtopics, but if we want to flesh them out more, to think about how we could better represent these subtopics of subtopics, we could go further. So for art, I put fibers and painting. So with that, that would be a good way to show maybe, see what I could think for fibers, like a little tapestry weaving or something, painting like a paintbrush or something, just different symbols that could represent that. And it doesn't have to be outright symbols that we would know. They're just supposed to be symbols that show your identity. Moving on, so I went over here to tradition. I put language and pueblo. This is more relating to my own personal identity, like how I said. So sometimes the words here might differ a little bit. So with that, since it's more fleshed out, it's easier for me to think of different ways I can represent that within my piece. So I saw with food, I could also bring it back to family as well. So again, a lot of them are able to overlap as well. So that's overall my mind map example, just to give us a good starting point of like how one would look. Again, there's a lot of different ways that you can do different examples, and this is just one way. Thank you guys so much for watching.